Good evening, my name is Theresa. I'm an alcoholic. Grateful to be here, grateful to be sober because of a loving God. It's always so nerve-wracking. Get some stuff out of the way. I want to thank the committee and Dave for the patience asking me to come out and, I always say, doing a 12-step call on me. Allowing me to stay sober another day. It's funny when people call me. I have no time that I ever think that my experience will benefit others. And my calendar is completely insane. And it's funny when people call you and ask you to speak like in 2012. I've got stuff in 2012. But I kind of throw them off a little bit. When they do call me, I'm like, what? You mean to tell me I got to stay sober to 2012? I go, there goes my glass of wine tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much. They're probably like, what are we doing? Asking other speech. AA people sure can mess up a girl's drinking. Anyway. So I think God has a sense of humor that really keeps me busy and wants to make sure that I never forget. And certainly, it's an honor to give back what was so freely given to me. I get weirded out about speaking and coming up and people knowing me. I feel like I'm no longer anonymous in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I freak out a little bit, especially a girl who prefer to just stay in the background and not be so much where everybody's staring at you. This is really awkward. I need to tell you that. This is always so weird, but I know that there's so many people who have done this for me from this podium that has changed my life and my sobriety, and so it means a lot for me to just do that for somebody else. So again, I want to thank the committee for asking me to come out, and Ann and Kitty have been great picking me up. It was nice. I got a Guana and a Puerto Rican girl picking me up. It's always, when I come to Florida, that happens though. It don't happen too much in California, but when I come to Florida, I'm like, Latinos in the house. That's kind of refreshing. So they've been really great, and I think I'm low maintenance. Wherever I really go, you think I travel the world and you would think I want to go see monuments and sightseeing. But usually when people ask me, what do you want to do? I'm like, do you have a Walmart? Do you have a CVS? I just want a candle and some chocolate and some potato chips and I'm straight. I was in like Amsterdam. I was like, do you have a CVS? Anyway. They did take me to the red light district. That was why. Anyway, so it's unfortunate. I'm really grateful though that the Dave and the committee's been nice to me. My nephews are here for the summer. My brother's gone through cancer. He's been going through cancer for a while, and he just finished his chemo, and so he sent me the boys. My nephews are 13 and 8. I don't have any children. I've lost 4 in my life, and it's been an honor to give all the nurturing and the love to my nephews, and they've been with me since the beginning of July. And they go home on Sunday, so they're kind of like, you better hurry up and go over there and do what you got to do and get right back. So I need to leave early in the morning. I'm going to miss the rest. You got wonderful speakers this weekend. I'm going to kick the kickoff speaker, right? Oh my God, I hope I can get it going for y'all, okay? I always got to get certain things out of my head, because if not, it blocks me from the sunlight of the Spirit. That's kind of the way I look at it. There's some things going on at the moment with me that I usually got to get out. So if you be new, this is insignificant to you. You probably really don't care, because it's all about you right now. So just sit back and relax for a second. I got to get this out. Again, this is always nerve-wracking. It's really frustrating up here. But what's really going on in my mind at the moment, and I've got a mixture of emotions at this second. I was sharing with Anna, went outside after the other meeting, that a sponsee of mine for the last few years, whenever I come to Florida, she always surprises me and she shows up. And I love her story. I met her when she was 19 years old, and she heard my CD and she was shooting dope, and somebody gave it to her while she was shooting dope and getting high. And could you imagine, she was listening to me while she was getting loaded. And she found out I was coming to Florida, and she drove out and asked them to clean her up. She showed up at some clubhouse and said, clean me up so I could meet this girl, Theresa. And we've been dancing ever since. I met her at a conference, and it seemed like she was always struggling to get sober. She also flew out to California, and we did some step work, and when she was out in California with me, she was like, this is like AA boot camp. You don't stop. And And that was a nice experience. And coming out, I was just out here not too long ago, and I got a chance to see her, and she always just shows up, and she cleans up a couple of days before I get there. And I remember telling her, do I need to move to Florida for you to stay sober? It seems like you only get sober when I come to Florida. And this trip I was coming out, I was really looking forward to her surprising me. She gets cleaned up, and she puts on a cute little outfit, and just smiling, happy to have a day or two, and we hang out all weekend, and then she'll stay sober for a couple of months and call me, and I don't hear from her for a while. So I was thinking about her last night when I got here, and I just knew that she would show up somewhere in this room, and I'd probably see her. And I saw a call from her girlfriend this morning, and I thought, her girlfriend was going to call me and tell me that she'll be here and expect her and to look for her. But that's not the call that I got. The call that I got from her girlfriend was that she went back out again. She's drinking and using. She OD'd. And right now she's brain dead and in a coma. And so I'm just kind of like, really? Man. So I have a mixture of emotions. A mixture of emotions because my sobriety date is March 29, 1990. In the last 21 years, I've seen the passing parade. I'm not too shocked and appalled because that's what happens to us. That's what we do, and that's what we know how to do best, is we know how to drink and we know how to get loaded. And there's so many people that I've come to know and love in these rooms, and as much as I want it for you, I understand the disease of alcoholism, and it takes the best of us out. And as much as she's kind and she's gentle and she's loving, she is powerless over alcohol, and her life is unmanageable. And so I get it. But at the same time, I'm a little ticked off, because I wanted to see her. So I'm just having a little bit of some, I just got a call a couple hours ago that I'm not going to see her unless I told them I believe in miracles. They were like, it'll take a miracle for her to come out of that, but more than likely they're going to have to pull the plug on her. I was like, I believe in miracles, anything is possible. And so she's 4 hours away. I was ready to drive there, but it's Jacksonville, so they told me it's like 4 hours. So I had them give me the phone. I believe people here and they're in a coma, and so I just talked to her and let her know that she too gets to keep coming back if it's in spirit in another lifetime, and that I love her. And I was so looking forward to being here at this conference, and so my heart's a little heavy, kind of sadness. The disease of alcoholism is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And what I was telling Anna is that we don't talk a lot around here about the people who don't make it back. We have a lot, we call relapses and retreads. In my home group, this woman Marcy used to call the relapsers our scouts. And she said they go out and scout for us, but come back and you let us know that it's still not working. But there are a lot of people who drink and die. And that's just there before the grace of God go I. And she reminds me of just how close I am and we all are to that. And I'm just one drink away from a drunk. And it's so easy for that to happen to me. So, my goodness, I need to get that out. Because I'm tripping on that for a minute. I was just looking forward to seeing her. But I feel her and I see her in spirit. And I'm grateful that I'm here and that I'm sober. And that there are new friends in the house. And I want to welcome anyone who's new. Welcome to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I want to welcome you home. And we ask you to just keep coming back. And I used to hear, don't leave 5 minutes before the miracle happens. And let us love you till you can learn to love yourself. And there is a moment of silence and prayer, and it takes place in so many meetings all over the world. And I heard that when I got here. And if you be new, we've been praying for you. And that but for the grace of God, you have been lifted up and brought into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. And whatever you do, I always hope that you never take that for granted. I always wish the newcomer the gift of desperation. They told me when I got here, don't you ever forget your last drunk. And I hope you never forget it, and that when you think about your last drunk or your last run, you just get sick to your stomach, you just want to throw up. Because we get well around here and we forget. And I hope that I never forget my last drunk. And even though we say that the newcomer is the most important person in the room, and truly you are, I am here from California, left my nephews for a few hours just for you, to let you know that you too can recover one day at a time. But I tend to believe that the old-timers are just as important, even though I believe that the coffee person is really, really important. We get weird when there ain't no coffee to me, right? Anyway. He'll be freaking out, ain't no coffee. I believe the old timers are so important. If you weren't here when I got here, I don't know where I would be. So I always like to thank the old timers for my life and my sobriety, and I still want what you have. I don't ever want to lose that. I'm grateful we don't get well around here. I'm grateful that you keep coming back and setting the example, and you sweep the floors and you put up the chair. Or just that sometimes you have your favorite chair. I love that about old timers. They have their favorite chair in that meeting, their favorite seat on the third row. You know, that's their seat. And everybody seems to know that. Nobody ever sits in that seat. And I keep coming back just to have that seat. You know, I'm at my seat. My seat. But I like seeing the familiar face over and over again in that meeting. It's very comforting. And so I tell you that I need you. And I want to thank you for showing up and letting me know that I too can recover one day at a time. My goodness, as I said, I never thought that my experience can benefit others. I truly believe that I'm a miracle, and I see so many miracles in the room. I am grateful to Alcoholics Anonymous at so many levels. I get really emotional because it's really in my heart. I was telling someone last night that I went to Dr. Bob's house out over in Cleveland, Akron, Ohio. I was in Cleveland and they took me to Akron, and I knew I was hooked when I was sitting with the coffee pot and I started crying. I was like, okay, you hooked. You're straight up a part of this thing. Anyway. Oh my goodness. I've been through a lot of stuff. I was in Arkansas, they gave me a raccoon hat. Anyway, whatever. I just be telling people, don't put this stuff on Facebook. That's all I'm saying. I got friends in New York still need to think I'm cool.